Hello everyone. You don't have to look far to see that this country has got a homelessness crisis with tents and everything everywhere. But to truly understand what's driving the homelessness crisis in this country, and more importantly how to solve it quickly, we must first examine the root causes. Put simply, the core issue was actually not income, and it's also not a mystery. It's primarily not about poverty either, which is confusing to a lot of people. At its heart, the crisis stems from a lack of inexpensive housing. And yes, I use the word inexpensive housing. More on that shortly. Take a look at the following chart. You'll notice that, ironically, poverty itself is not the primary factor. Looking at Mississippi, despite having one of the highest poverty rates in the nation, also maintains one of the lowest homelessness rates. In fact, Mississippi sees just 3.5 homeless individuals per 10,000 people. Take that in contrast to California, where the homelessness rate is over 10 times that number, roughly 44 per 100,000 individuals. For further context, I also included Texas in this chart. So why the drastic difference? Well, the answer lies in the availability of low-cost housing. In cities like Gulfport, Mississippi, there is still a relative abundance of affordable homes, whereas places like San Francisco have a median home price of around $1.4 million. Even individuals with higher paying jobs who are technically above the poverty line may have a hard time affording houses like that, essentially being priced out. Now you might be thinking, what about drug addiction and mental illness? Certainly those are contributing factors, I don't want to say they're not, and I refer to them many times as coexisting conditions. These issues increase the risk of becoming homelessness, but they are not the core issue. However, these issues present a financial burden to people that suffer from them. For example, in Gulfport, Mississippi and Milwaukee, Wisconsin, there is numerous drug and alcohol addiction there as well. But they don't have the same homeless problem as San Francisco or Los Angeles. But why? The answer is inexpensive housing. I'm not suggesting that we ignore issues like alcohol and drug addiction. Rather, I'm saying that we need to keep focusing on the core issue, which is inexpensive housing first. Now, I totally support drug rehabilitation, mental health centers, and other clinics to help people in need. But for now, let's stick to the core issue, lack of inexpensive housing. So now how do we solve this problem? Many states like California have been spending billions of dollars literally to try to solve this problem, turning into what some like to call a homeless industrial complex. This is fair, because solving the crisis is not nearly as complicated as bureaucrats would like to make you think. What's actually needed are endowments and incentives to provide minimalist, low-cost housing. A target of home prices under $200,000 should be a benchmark, as many towns that have affordable housing options at $200,000 or less experience way less homelessness. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Austin, that's ridiculous. There are no homes under $200,000 these days. What the hell are you talking about? But that's simply not true. Take Milwaukee, Wisconsin, for example. I ran a Zillow search and found numerous homes for under $100,000. Take, for example, this following home. Well under $100,000. Now, obviously, this is a minimalist home, and it's not something that most people consider their dream home, right? But this home is far better than living in a tent or on the street. So what's the takeaway? Are we all supposed to pack up and move to Milwaukee, Wisconsin? Home of former serial killer Jeffrey Dahmer, by the way. No, I'm not suggesting that. I'm not suggesting we move to Mississippi or Wisconsin. But what I am suggesting is focusing on the root cause of applicable issues that are at play, and not spending our time focusing on issues that are irrelevant. The core issue being inexpensive housing. Some of you might look at this and say, well, that's like saying, Austin, you're a fat bastard. Just eat less calories, just eat less, and that'll solve your problem. True. But while this solution of inexpensive housing may seem obvious, it doesn't appear to be obvious to a lot of our politicians, and we must first focus on the root cause of an issue before we can have meaningful solutions. I hope you enjoyed this, guys. And if you question any of my statistics, I would love to hear about it in the comments. but you will find that poverty and homelessness don't really have much of a tie, and lack of affordable housing or lack of inexpensive housing has a very strong tie. See you on the next one.